Luke Thomas in St. Louis, Missouri for MMA Fighting just after Bellator 138 next to Bellator President Scott Coker. Scott, I think I speak for the entire Twitterverse when I ask, what was that? I mean, in a good way, but what was that?
I mean, it was really like a Rocky fight all in 4 minutes. I mean, Ken did what he was trying to do, take him down, submit him. They got up, he went back down. And so for a second there, I go, this is it. Kimbo's going to tap out. But he fought that thing off, and he fought off the rear naked choke. And all his training at AT&T has paid off. So comes back and has a heavy knockout, heavy punching. I mean, the guy can still punch, has tremendous power. So to me, that was a Rocky story all in one night.
Did that go as how you wanted it? Was that a best case scenario for Bellator from your perspective?
You know, here's how I feel. It's like, look, the fight is the fight. I'm not like, taking sides. I mean,
I guess I mean the evening, like the arc of the whole show.
Oh yeah, I think that it was one hell of a night, man. It was some really entertaining fights. I mean, Pitbull's knockout, I was like, wow. I thought he was done. Like he's gonna get knocked out in the second round, and to come back and knock out Weichel, I was really shocked, and the whole place went nuts. And like we talked earlier at the press conference. I've never been to a fight where there's been that much emotion, where everybody's standing up like the end of a playoff game or the Warriors game, right?
Like if you've been to a Strikeforce show and you've been to this one, I mentioned it in the press conference. Some of it does feel similar, but there are really some big distinctions too. Why does this pairing work well from the creative standpoint as far as the show is going? And I mean by that, it just seems like whatever your ideas are, they're like, cool, great, let's do it, and vice versa. What is the aesthetic that you share there that makes that possible?
I mean, to me, Strikeforce was a great show, and we had great fighters, and we have great fighters here. And, the production level here, and I'm talking about so much the TV production, but the staging, come on, we never spent the kind of money that we're spending on the staging here now. And really it was, I think, Kevin K, when I said, look, we really want to do something big. He said, well, then let's go for it. And so Spike's all in, Viacom's all in, and now you get to see the show on these big temples that look like this. And it's only going to get bigger, it's only going to get better, and I'm thinking in San Jose it's going to be really, really amazing.
So there was a lot of reaction. Again, there was just a different level of reaction too. I saw famous sports figures talking about.
Shaq, 10 million views. Thank you, Shaq. I really appreciate that.
But there was. I mentioned some of the criticism. It's fairly minor. It was the pacing of the show. That it was a kind of slow. I'm just going to wonder, is that deliberate to make sure that you got the kind of ratings you're looking for?
I think that, no, you know what it was? I think that, we have a 3-hour window and we have a certain amount of commercial inventory we got to run. So that's really a TV question, but that's what I think.
Will the Dynamite show, from a purposeful standpoint, try to be bigger than this? You said today this was the biggest, best Bellator show that you've been to. I'm assuming you're going to try and top yourself with that one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, I think this is going to be an amazing rating. I think it's going to be, when you look back on it, I think that every fight kind of was its own success story, right? And when I look at the September 19th fight, it's very emotional for me because it's our comeback, fight at the SAP Arena. But the 4-man tournament, it's going to be amazing. I want to do something different. To have Tito in the house and to have Schilling and Daly. I mean, we're going to have some amazing, probably some of the best martial arts fighters in the world. And it's all going to be in one night, so I'm looking forward to it.
Circling back to this evening, I think I know the answer to this because I know we talked about the Japanese playbook. I'm just going to ask this because I know if I don't, I'm going to get chewed to pieces for it. Okay. How much of borrowing from the pro wrestling aesthetic, which was, in the Ken Shamrock walkout, that was, I don't know what, that was exactly what that was. How much of that is a liability for the brand?
You know what? Ken wanted to do it, so we did it. But, it's...
Do you think it worked? Do you think it was a good thing?
I think it worked for Ken, right? But that's, that's the only time we've ever really done that, had another former pro wrestler come out with him. But this is going to be an entertainment property and a fight property. So you're going to see some great openings and some great, visuals on the board. But I think Ken was a one-time situation for him, and it was important to him, so I said, yeah, let's do it.
Is this product, the Bellator product, with you and Viacom working together, this is like a clear, unequivocal pivot away from what UFC is doing, right? Like, in other words, there is some overlap. For example, your co-main event, this guy can compete with the best of anyone. But as a general product, it doesn't even look the same. It doesn't feel the same, certainly. Is this trying to be as decidedly different in the marketplace of giving consumers alternatives as possible?
You could look at it like that, but honestly, when when I was working for Japan, I remember walking into the Tokyo Dome for the very first time and having 65,000 people there and just looking around going, this is unbelievable. I can't believe that this is happening somewhere in this planet and I didn't even know about it, right? This is like 1997. And it just hit me, man, like this is it. This is the way to present a fight. And so now that we have the opportunity, we're going to bring that element here. Has nothing to do with pro wrestling. It has nothing to do with so much being a differentiator, which I think it clearly is. But the genesis of it really was when I was working in Japan at K1. Went to all the Pride shows and all the the great martial arts combat there, and I just think that I really liked what they were doing.
So to wrap it all up, the best part about Bellator 138 was what?
Wow, I think that it was a bunch of things. I mean, to have Kimbo come back and, to do what he did, it was almost like time froze for some people. I was talking to Rich, our matchmaker, and he was there at the first one, right? And I said, this must be a really surreal experience for you because it's like a time freeze. And so he says, Scott, it goes, it's just a surreal moment for me. And he was at the weigh-in 8 years ago, and he was at the weigh-ins for this fight. He was at this fight, and to see it unfold, I could see in his eyes that, to see it finally happening, it was something that was, he could put a closure to this chapter of their careers between those two guys. So, I think this is the one time they'll fight, and everybody just move on.
Thank you for your time, Scott Coker. Congratulations on the evening, and I guess we'll see you in September in San Jose.
Yes, come on down. It's going to be fun.